What's up, man?
My hat's crooked. Wait a minute.
Sure it's not your head?
Yeah, my head is definitely crooked. I look more.
He's going no hat.
Lord.
He's going no hat.
I can't wait to see what this looks like. That's what the headphones. I look more like my cartoon character this way.
There you do.
Yeah, because, I want one day for us to have a bottle and you have a can and us do that.
Oh.
What we're doing. Yeah, you're pointing and I'm giggling like a fool. We're back.
Oh my gosh,
We
man.
are back.
Yeah, welcome to Unranked Unhinged, man. And
Yay.
where experience is optional.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got a cool catchphrase every time. I got nothing. I had like the crumbling cookie and something else the
Yeah.
other day. It was awful.
You know another one?
What?
Confidence is always misplaced.
Confidence is misplaced. That's awesome. Well, let's see. What was I going to say? I was going to say hi to our friend back here. His name is Ravage.
Ravage.
Hey, yeah, and this is awesome. I'm having so much fun.
Dude,
Last week was awesome. I don't know how in the world you edited it down to what you did, because holy cow, that was amazing.
It was an hour and 8 minutes. Now, with that said, there's some intro and outro, so there's probably a couple minutes before and a couple minutes at the end. So, but it's still
It's
over,
awesome.
over an hour.
Well, the fact that people are hanging in there and we're actually getting people watching it, I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe one day we're going to go live.
Dude, I would love to go live.
Yeah, me too.
We
Coming
have
closer to you,
Yeah, we just kind of got started, but I would love to go live, and I think we've got some things we're working on, and I think we're getting there. This will be our 5th episode.
Really? That's awesome.
This will be the 5th one. But I want to give you a heads up, everybody. If Bart knows this, but tomorrow we are be on our first venue site.
Yeah. What do you call that?
We're going to be at the Gopher Hole.
Yeah.
In Abingdon, Virginia. Pretty excited about that.
Yeah, Gene's been there before. I have not.
It's pretty cool. It's brand new. They have a couple of simulators, some pool tables, TVs, just a little bar. It's nice. It's super nice.
I love it.
So we're going to be on the road tomorrow.
Yay!
Well, I don't know. I think tonight, I think we need to talk about beginners. The mistakes that beginners make, or maybe some things that could help get them, started.
Cool.
Maybe in the fishing and golfing. Obviously, you're the expert in fishing.
You keep saying expert. Man, that is a misplaced word with me.
Well,
I am a enthusiastic fisherman.
That's nice. I like that.
Yeah,
that's good.
I like that.
Just come up with that.
Yeah, I did. I like that. I like that a lot better than professional. What was it?
Expert?
Expert. Yeah. No. That doesn't fit.
Should I say experienced golfer? Experienced fisherman?
I am an experienced fisherman. I have an expert shirt on though.
Well, I think, some of the stuff, I think beginners will completely ignore. They think that put a club in your hand, fishing pole in your hand, and you just kind of, things are going to happen.
That being said, I think that a lot of times beginners spend too much on equipment.
I agree. I think that it's all, it's advertising, and they see the pros do it, and, professional, fishermen that does these leagues, they see what kind of equipment they have. And I totally agree. I mean,
well, last show we proved that a beginner can start with the minimum amount of equipment and go out and do what they need to do. So,
I think I said $200 for golfing, and you were $250. Was that right? Was that
no? I won the first one. I was cheaper. Yeah, I was like $150.
I'm trying to get it.
Oh,
man.
And by the way, I have found out I lost the second round because I was dang near $250,000, and that was because of my stupid boat
Yeah.
and truck to pull it. But I figured out Gene needed a private airplane to go to all his golfing things.
Yeah.
So I think next time if we do this, I'm gonna push in for a private jet on Gene's, and I think then we'll kind of even out. Maybe
Goodwill solos.
yeah, Goodwill. Believe it or not, you see them on Marketplace, which always amazed me. I mean, who in the world would go on Marketplace to buy a private jet?
Yeah. Well, you just said, going back to what I started, they think brand equals skills.
Oh yeah. It doesn't.
That's not the case.
Fishing, you could find an instructor. It's very difficult. In golf, it's not. And there's so many golf courses that do these little camps.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I hate the fact that a lot of these camps are focused more on kids.
Yeah.
And I mean, I wish they would do the same thing for terrible adults.
Dude, that's a great observation. That some people don't get started till in their 40s, 50s, and maybe in 60s they retire and they don't want to sit around. Maybe we'll go play golf or maybe go fishing.
Yeah,
that's a great point.
And if you are young and starting out, look around at the golf courses, and cast a wide net. All the ones around, just call and asking, hey, are you doing a camp? And if you're a parent getting a kid started, do something like that. Call around, see one of these camps, because to me, starting out, I think a young person would have more fun in a camp environment than with other kids around than they would if it was a private lesson.
Yeah, I agree.
And in fishing, I think the biggest problem you have starting out is, number one, targeting a species. And number two is finding a location. Whereas it's not hard to find a golf course.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. You're talking about it's hard to find, camps for fishing, but what can fly fishing? Do they have
fly fish? Yeah. Fly fishing is like and I've said this before, fly fishing is like I don't know what you would call them. I mean, they're elite. And you can find, I've actually taken a camp kind of class in fly fishing. Lots of places offer that. And it's really cool. You learn a lot about, because there's a lot to that. The casting method is not like, just regular fishing where you go out there and you can just fling whatever.
Right.
There's a technique that you really, really, really have to get down to get the lure to do what you want.
Yeah.
But it is very fun, and fly fishing is great.
Can the if you go on a guided tour, can are those guys just taking you out to fish into a spot, or will they teach you, or they show you?
And that's the thing. If you need to get that clarified up front. If you do hire a guide, I would be, just be very upfront and say, I'm just starting fishing. I want to learn how to do this. Hey, I can cast a pole. I know the differences, and I'm not afraid to bait the hook and take the fish off. But I really need guidance on just how to get started and where to fish and what species I'm fishing for and in what location. And I guess the big difference between like golf and fishing is you can go on Google and YouTube and you can learn a lot about fishing. You can't go. You can go on there and learn a swing, but unless you're actually going out and putting it in practice.
That's one of the things I was going to bring up. People with golf, they, I've watched a video.
Yeah.
I've watched how. Well, that's fine. If you're a beginner and you want to get started out, learning the technique, maybe the grip, maybe it's your stance, but everyone is different. Everyone is tall, short, Everyone's different out there, so it's okay to watch a video, but I don't think that needs to be your lesson.
That being said, and most everybody will say this, if you've ever listened to yourself being recorded, you always say, "Holy cow, I can't believe I sound like that." And like right now, doing this, I was listening to myself and I'm like, God, do I really sound like that? Your golf swing is that way. You know, if you're out there and you're swinging and you've got in your head what it looks like, record it.
Absolutely.
And you'll go,
yeah.
do I really swing like that?
Yeah. Well, see, I to this day, I will still go to the driving range and set my phone up.
Yep.
And record it from different angles. I may have a little twitch or something that I'm trying to figure out and just don't know exactly where it is. But I'll still set a phone up at the driving range.
It makes a huge difference because I've done the same thing. I've set it up and then looked at it and gone, ooh, God. Fishing, you don't care what you look like.
Yeah.
You could fling it out there as long as you get, tackle in the water relatively close to where you want to go. It's good.
No judging in that sport, huh?
That's right. No judgment unless you're
free zone.
Yeah, unless you're continuously tree fishing.
Oh,
and that can get old.
Yeah, that kind of get annoying.
And the problem is that somebody always says, if you're with somebody, they're always like, "Well, what are you doing, tree fishing?" And it's like, you've said that 15 times already.
We get it. Hey, we get it.
We're doing that. It's like golf, too. I remember the old joke that somebody, like for me, what's the one thing that adds more strokes than anything else? And it's spectators. If somebody's watching you.
Oh, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that goes back to say, like when you're playing, say as a twosome, and there's you come up on a foursome, and they say, "Hey, come on, play on through."
Oh, that's the worst.
Dude, that is
the worst.
That is absolutely the worst. It's guaranteed for me to show him how not to play golf. I might top it, push it, pull it, but we'll play on through, but it's not fun.
I know. It's just, I don't know what it is. It's just that all of a sudden you have a new expectation added on top of everything else in your golf swing. If you all look it up, there's an Instagram, YouTube thing of this guy, and he's trying to explain all the different things you do in a golf. I know you've seen it. It's old, and he's like, "Well, you got to do this and do this, and you turn here and you do this," and then he hits the ball and it pops straight up in the air. And he grabs it. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot going through your head when you're playing golf, much less when you all of a sudden now have to perform in front of, because what you've done by coming up on somebody is you've said, without saying it, I'm playing better golf than you.
Yeah.
You're holding me back.
Well, I think we can say, I was joking about there's no judging, casting, but would you agree that there's a little bit of judging when someone lets you play through?
Little bit?
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Yeah. And so, I was saying that I was joking earlier about, no judging, fishing and casting, but I think there's a little bit of judging on the tee box when they let you play through.
There's like monumental judging. Not only when you play through, if you're playing with somebody, you're being judged every swing.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at, even if it's somebody that's a terrible golfer and they're worse than you, they go, he could have swung better than that. He looked better on the last one than he did. Now he's going downhill. So there's always judgment. And I do have to say, to an extent, when you're with somebody and you're bass fishing or you're targeting a species that's what I call sport fish, there's judgment there. If you bounce a lure off of a dock, or you get hung up, and it's like you're judged a little bit, but nowhere near like golf.
Well, I used to give our buddy Kelly a hard time. I was not a fisherman, but we've said this before. He has taken me out, and if I've caught one before he did, dude, I let him have it.
Well, and two, here's the thing with fishing. The higher the level you are, the more you're going to try to cast into places that you shouldn't cast.
Yeah. Is the expectations high? You think? You think?
Well, what you do, like when you're beginning fishing and you know that it's like beginning golf. You know, the good thing is the fairway's the fairway. You're shooting for the middle.
Yeah.
When you're golfing, if you hit the water, you know, it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, you've hit the water and everything's okay. Problem is, as you get better, you're thinking, okay, there's a spot over there that's just off the bank. You know, it's between, you know, a bush and there's a big rock. And if I just skim it in there, you know, it'll go under this tree, you know. And so you're trying to put it in something the size of a coffee can. Yeah. And yeah, it's real easy to not make that work.
Right.
But there are people who are amazingly accurate with being able to cast lures.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just phenomenal.
Well, I think when I started and I was a beginner, you know, I think it could be, you know, beginner's luck. I had no expectations. I wasn't expecting to catch anything. But when I did, it was fun. And,
oh yeah.
But I think as time goes on, and not saying I'm an experienced fisherman by no means, but you know, you start to understand what to look for, how to cast, and where to cast, and then I think for me, I think that's where expectation kind of rises for that.
I think if you're a beginner, instead of making the mistake of just, you know, oh, I see a little bit of water, I'm going to go out there and fish. If even as a you know, a group or you know, couple of guys or a, you know, father, son, father, daughter, mother, son, whatever. There are lakes within our area, and I'm sure there are other ones, that have guided fishing where that you pay like $200. I know it sounds like a lot of money, but for $200, they give you a boat. They give you bait. They show you where to fish. And what I would suggest more than anything else is target crappie, because a good crappie lake, you can go out there, find minimal cover. Those fish are everywhere, and they're super easy to catch, and you could easily catch 100 fish in a day.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're excited about fishing, much more than if you go out and you're really targeting like largemouth or smallmouth bass, and you know you can finish the day and not catch anything.
Right.
Not only that, but you can lose a couple of fish, which is frustrating.
Yeah. Doesn't not catching anything as a beginner, could it really hurt you or make you feel?
It just makes you feel like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
You know, I'm doing something wrong.
Well, and I think the same thing as a golf. You know, if I'm a beginner and you know I'm slicing it, topping it, and you know you just kind of get a little frustrated on it at yourself, and you know it's like, well, do I want to go back? You know,
do I want to throw this club?
Don't give up on either sport. You know, there'll be days where you'll catch something. There'll be days you won't.
Right.
You know, same thing with golf. There'll be days, you know, you'll play a good round.
Yeah.
And then other days you'll shoot triple digits.
You know, you were lucky when you started fishing because you had somebody that would kind of show you. Because, and I've said this before, you started at like stage 3. Yeah. You didn't, you know, if you're going to start fishing, get you some worms and a float and a hook and go out somewhere where that, you know, you can see that somebody else has already been there and catch bluegill. Yeah. They're fun little fish to catch. You know, use a small hook, small pole, very thin line, you know, small pound line, 2 pound, 4 pound test, and catch bluegill till your fingers hurt. And that's fun. Right. You know, if, like I said, Gene started straight off the bat with bass. Yeah. And the good thing was, though, you had somebody with you that actually kind of showed you what you needed to do.
You know, the thing that obviously I did as a beginner, I didn't want to hold him back. He's been fishing for a long time, but you know, I would say, hey, how do you do this? What it was supposed to do? And he wouldn't cast it and show me. He was like, hey, do this, and I'll show it. I was like, so he'll kind of teach me. And I had to.
It makes a difference.
Yeah, I had a great opportunity for that.
You know, and like you said, people that go out there, with a higher expectation of playing golf, and they have you can go 3 holes and lose a dozen balls.
Oh, absolutely, man. Well, I mean, as a beginner, there's so much, and it's not knocking anything off of fishing by no means, because I understand it could be difficult. But if you're talking about beginning on the golf, there's so many variables that you have to work on and fix. It comes from the grip, your stance. Your alignment. There's so much, and beginners don't know that.
Not only that, you have something in golf that we don't have in fishing: rules.
Yeah.
I mean, you go out there on a course and you have
caught one.
Yeah, we don't have rules. It's like measurements go out the window.
How are they going to prove it?
We use the metric system and stuff, but at golf, you all actually have rules.
Yeah,
and I mean, if there's the times that I played golf for a year at least and at the end of that had no clue about 80% of the actual rules of golf.
Well, I think as we were playing together as a group, obviously if you hit one out of bounds, you re-teed and hit 3, but sometimes if you hit,
beginner wouldn't know that.
That's right. Watch this podcast and
now
follow the rule book.
3 off the tee.
3 off
Been
the
there,
tee.
done that.
Yeah, but if you had, I think we said at one podcast, if we went in somebody's divot, we just kind of
move it off to the side.
And as a beginner, that is perfectly fine, because you don't, obviously you can't do that forever, because it's, if you want to say it's against rules, that's fine, but
right.
you've got to learn to hit the ball, and so I think that's one thing that we did as a group. There was gimmies, but yeah.
Well, we kind of said at the beginning of this that this was going to talk about mistakes. And I would say that a big mistake would be for a beginner to try to adhere to all the rules.
Yeah.
I mean, if I know that a lot of people frown on, that was a mulligan off the tee, I'm going to hit another one. If you're a beginner and you're with somebody, come on, man, give them a break.
Yeah.
Let them hit another one off the tee.
We call it, first hole, we call it the breakfast ball.
Breakfast ball. I love it.
Yeah. And, we are not professionals. We don't go to the range.
He's on tour. He's like one step away from the private jet.
We always had this joke that we say, he rolled out of the car and hit them, meaning we would pull up to about almost 5 minutes before tee time.
Exactly. You don't, and then you're trying to stretch real fast. It's like, okay, got it.
I'm good.
Yeah, okay.
I'm good. I'm good to go. So we always play 2 off the tee, but the rules can be tricky. But I think the rules
very tricky.
But the rules can work into your advantage if you understand them. But it takes time. But if you're just beginning, try to learn them as you go.
Yeah.
But biggest thing is have confidence and just in your learn to swing, the grip, the stance, and like I said earlier, there's people are built different. There's people taller and shorter. You're not going to have the same swing. You and I don't have the same swing.
Oh God, no.
Kelly and I said before that, when you take lessons as an older adult, you have one guy teaching these lessons. It's okay for as a kid, but as an adult, we're different, developed.
Oh yeah, and you don't want to get an instructor that's going to try to change everything.
Yeah.
If you were, if in your mind you decided I'm going to be a professional golfer, then maybe you would get hire somebody to change and develop you a swing.
Well, I think you hire most of these pros will have a coach.
Yeah.
A swing coach.
Exactly. And but I mean, the percentage of people listening to this, we're recreational golfers.
Well, you really are.
Don't go out there when you're in your 30s and try to completely redo your swing. Mm-hmm. My suggestion is, number one, sorry, my little microphone thing. If I jar it, I can't hear myself. As a beginner, try to learn golf etiquette because that's important. Because that can kind of mess you up. If you do something that kind of affects everybody else, that that's bad. And golf etiquette isn't hard to learn. I mean, simple stuff like,
Simple.
who hits, whose turn is it to hit. That's a simple thing to learn.
Yeah, farthest one away from the green.
Farthest one away from the green.
I think the one that really gets me is, around the green.
Mm-hmm.
We have this respect of, if you're trying to line up your putt, the other person doesn't walk in front.
Yeah, don't walk in front of your line.
Always walk around.
Yeah, and talking.
Yeah,
is a big one.
Yeah, and I think if you notice that, and these people keep doing it, you take it with you. You get frustrated, but I think that could be another segment. But you would get frustrated, and I have been in that situation before. It's just like I can't do this.
Oh yeah, and I'm not going to mention his name, and you may have played with him, but it's a guy that played with us several times, and he had one of those Bluetooth headsets with his phone, and he never stopped talking the whole time he was swinging. He would come up to the ball and line up and get ready, and he's doing some deal on his. And the bad part was he played better golf than I did doing that. It really irked me.
Maybe he just wasn't thinking about it. I think a lot of us, that's what happens is we have so much going on in our minds.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, well, I need to do this. I need to, my grip, I need to stand. It's like, if you can just kind of, I've played great golf when you just don't even think about it. Like, my round's over with.
I will say this as another mistake that beginners golfers make. Don't try to learn how to play golf on the golf course. Once you get out there, just kind of clear your head and think, I'm going to hit that little ball that way. And the other thing too is, don't worry about hitting it too far.
A lot of beginners, man, they swing angry. I mean,
I agree.
It's like they grip that thing and it goes 300 yards, but it went 100 yards over in the woods.
Yeah.
You don't have to swing hard.
No. Well, not only that, you don't have to hit a driver every time.
Yeah.
You think about let's say a 450-yard hole. If you break that down, and let's say that you can hit your 5 to 7 iron 150 yards. Mm-hmm. Well, that's 150, and 150.
Yeah.
You just took a 7 or a 6 iron, and you made it to the green in 3.
Well, that's what I use it, and it's called course management.
There you go.
When I play in my league, we're playing for prizes, and there's sometimes the holes are real narrow.
Yeah.
And I just need something in the fairway. So if, like you said, if it's say a 350 or 400 yard par 4, it's like, okay, let's break this down. If I can get something out there around 225, 250,
exactly.
Then the next shot is, it should be a little easier. You don't. Everybody wants to hit that long ball, but you don't have to. Because and I think I said this on a couple of episodes before. Your money game is 150 yards in.
Yeah.
That's what you use your putter every hole.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what the percentage would be, but you'll use a wedge most time around the green, either 100 yards
like
in.
9 wedges in your bag or something, don't you? It's like, yeah. So, fishing is like that too, and which I think is really funny, because if you're fishing from the bank, most people try to cast as far as they can away from the bank. If you're in a boat, you try to get as close to the bank as you can, which I don't understand. If you're in the bank, you can catch fish right off the bank, 5 or 10 feet.
Yeah.
Fish are there.
Mm-hmm.
They don't give a rat's patootie what you're doing up there.
No.
Now, you can spook fish and you can scare fish away. But I have also seen, especially when fish are nesting and they're guarding their nest, them suckers will just fight you. I mean, if they're in the water, they're like, come on.
Yeah. You want
come
some?
on.
Well, I guess the fish, I guess they like the shiny. They like shiny bait. It doesn't matter what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's presentation, right?
Right. Well, fish bite for 2 reasons. They're hungry or they're mad. That's, two things.
Right.
If it's a predator fish and something shiny is coming by, he thinks, get out of my property.
Yeah.
And he takes off and he hits it. Or a fish is foraging and like, man, I'm going to eat the next shiny thing I see.
Yeah.
So that's the two reasons, that's basically the two reasons a fish will bite.
I love when we were topwater, and I said this, but I love topwater. When you see that shad, you can tell in the water where it is.
Oh, yeah.
And if you can just throw it out there and behind it,
Yep.
dude, you know it's going to pop.
Well, our buddy, I know we mentioned Kelly a lot, and that's because he was a very big part of our life.
Yeah.
And in golfing and fishing both. And we were topwater fishing one time, and and I noticed that we were when we would get a blow up, that there would be multiple fish, or when he would catch something, there would be fish behind it.
Yeah.
And so I got ready to cast. I mean, prepped, and Kelly was throwing and working it back, and then he'd cast. And he did this about 3 times, and he kind of looked out of the corner of his eye and saw me sitting over there. And he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm waiting for you to stir one up." And I really was. I was waiting for him to get a reaction, and I was going to come right in behind him. And, topwater fishing, a lot of times they say, well, I don't know if the experts say this or not, if you get a blow up, or when I say a blow up, that's something that hits but doesn't catch. Stop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because the fish in their head, a lot of times they're trying to stun a bait, first and foremost. They're not actually going in for, to bite. And so if you stop, in their heads, they're like, we've stunned it, and I'm going to come back. And, fishing topwater for smallmouth with jitterbugs, it's interesting because when you're fishing with a jitterbug, especially in the river, you'll hear, and it's the water. It's a smallmouth coming up to the bait and not actually biting it, but sucking water behind it, trying to suck it down. And you just stop. I mean, if you hear that, he's close. And I don't know how many times that you're in your head, you're thinking, okay, he's gone.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to reel.
Yeah.
And you talk yourself out of it. It's like, no, I'm going to sit there for just another minute. And, 4 seconds after you've given up, he hits. Yeah. Without that thing moving. So,
well, our buddy Kelly, when we were topwater, and the most fun I had was topwater. I mean, I liked it all. Enjoyed being out there with him. We went out one Saturday, and went this little. He knew everything about South Olson Lake.
Like the back of his hand.
Yeah, and he'd take me. I think he would kind of not tell me all of them though.
Oh yeah, save the best one.
Yeah, save the best ones for him. Yeah. But yeah, we'd go out, and dude, we had a heck of a day. You can just see the shad, and you can see these fish just come up and getting them, and so we just kind of trolled right down the middle. He had the bank on one side and kind of a little knoll on the other side, a little bank on the other side, and we just kind of troll right down the middle and throw them out there. And we ended up coming out of that within, I don't know, a couple of hours. I think we caught like 15 or 16 between the two of us. And I don't, that was good for me because I don't.
Oh yeah, you needed that. You needed that because, like I've said it before, you were at a level of fishing where that's not the norm.
Exactly.
And I'm glad that he got you on fish and got you on fish quick, because I think that would probably be another mistake beginners make is giving up if you get skunked. And getting skunked means you don't catch any fish.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but we were all close, and if I skunked one of you guys, I'm like, yeah, what's up?
Well, and see, that's me. Like I said, I'm fishing, whether I'm catching or not, and so I'm tickled to death. Yeah, and I'm tickled when other people catch fish. With me.
Absolutely. It's fun, but it is frustrating if both of us come out with nothing. So it's like, it didn't bother me if I didn't get anything, but if he got something, it's like, hey, we got something.
Yeah.
Or if I got something, I don't know how you felt. I'm sure the same way, maybe, but.
Well, to me, if I don't catch anything, if I'm targeting a specific fish, like if I'm out there and I'm fishing for bass, largemouth, and I'm not getting anything, I'm the kind of guy who just steps it down. I'm like, well, if they're not biting, I'm going to find something that is. So I'm going to step down to crappie, because a lot of times you can find crappie when you can't find, a lot of other stuff. And if I'm not catching crappie, I'm like, all right, time to bluegill.
Yeah, right.
And time to put some gills on the line. And, you can always catch bluegill.
Yeah.
But see, some people don't do that. A lot of people are very specific when they target a species. And if they don't catch that fish, they go home.
Well, I think it's, I think I can put it in this way. It's kind of like gold fever.
Go, feet.
When you
Do you remember that show?
No.
Oh God, there was a show on like public broadcasting, and the beginning of it was this dude who couldn't sing like me. He would go fever. Yeah, we'll have to find that clip. We'll have to find that clip. One. It's pretty good. So yeah, gold.
So I think when people get the gold fever, that they've got it in their blood, and I think you was talking about one specific fish, like when you go out there and you catch this bass, 2, 3, 4 pound or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
It's like, that's what I like. It was fun to catch. It's fun to reel in.
I'm gonna get.
They don't veer off, to go down. They don't step it down like as you said, the crappie or bluegie or something like that. The one thing that Kelly did for me, like when we were top watering and it wasn't a good day, he said, let's do some crankbait.
Yeah.
Just
find something.
Yeah. Do something. He'd take us over somewhere and do a little crankbait.
Yeah.
I wasn't good at that.
But that's the thing, it takes practice.
Yeah.
It takes practice. I think the one type of fishing that has, and this is going to probably tick people off out here, and I can't say radio land because you can actually see us in the cloud. What would you call that?
We're in the pod.
The pod. People in the pod are going to get mad when I say this. I don't like trolling.
Yeah.
And I just don't. And I even talk about how that I like fish. I can fish without catching fish, but I don't know. Trolling has always just not been my thing. And
maybe it's one of the things, after a while you learn, or maybe it's something that's you've always taken people out there that don't know how to use it. So it's like when I went, I didn't know how to use it. So I was always stuck in the back. There's advantages of being in the back. There's advantages of being in the front.
There is.
But if you're in the front, you're going to get to the cove before anybody else, the guy in the back. But you're going to have to troll it. You're going to have to use that trolling motor.
Well, but I'm talking about the kind of, I don't think you've ever fished, you've ever actually trolled. There are people that have, and you'll see these boats set up. They got rod holders, and like 15 of them all around the boat.
Oh, okay.
And they've got longer rods, and then the rods step down in length until the ones that's fishing out the back. And so they'll have 15 lures out the back of the boat, and they're just easing up. They know how fast that the fish are going to bite that day, and they pick these points that are shallower, and they'll just troll over this, and then all of a sudden poles will start going donk 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 donk, and they'll have 4 or 5 fish on at the same time, and it's just reel them in as fast as you can and get the next one.
It just proves right there that I am not a fisherman. When you said trolling, I thought he was talking about trolling motor. But hey, this is what this podcast is about. We're talking about fishing and golfing, so that's good point. Good job, man.
So golfing, I would say another thing that probably some beginners make is trying to, I already said don't learn how to golf on the golf course, and I don't know if you. That came across, but don't pick the hardest damn golf course in your area to play.
Yeah,
pick something easy.
I think you're right. Go to the range. You need to learn how to hit the ball. The stance and the grip and the alignment and all that. Yeah. Now, if you go and play, and you can practice on the course, but be respectful. If someone's behind you or, it's like, hey, it's okay to hit, if you're trying to practice, hit 2 or 3 balls, but be respectful, somebody behind you.
Yeah.
Let them play through, don't slow anybody up. But
Well, and that's the great thing about golf is you've already said this. You mentioned that the putter is the one club that you use almost every hole. That's something easy to practice at home.
And people and beginners, amateurs,
They want that driver in their hand.
Putting is boring.
I know. Give me that driver. That's and you'll see them out on the range, just driver.
Yep, like I said, they swing angry, and I've hit.
I love that, swinging angry. and I've done that too. You get up there and you tell yourself, okay, easy swing,
Yeah.
and you screw yourself in the ground.
Yeah.
And so I swung angry.
Well,
before.
the old saying is, drive for show and putt for dough.
Yeah.
But if you can't putt, there's no dough.
Yeah, and even Gene and his 53 wedges, that's something that you can practice.
I must have bought
easy
some while we were sitting here.
around. It keeps they're growing, they're multiplying.
Have you seen that shirt today?
No golf today. Aw, you're away from your microphone. I can't hear you.
Have you seen my microphone yet?
What?
Anyway, go ahead.
You're
a squirrel.
Squirrel. I forgot where I was. Okay, I was talking about practicing. Yeah. Practicing at home. If you've got any kind of backyard, you can use your wedges. And just take 5 or 6 balls and hit them 30 feet.
Yeah. Well, that's where I became. I'm pretty confident, and I'll go out and say that I feel like I'm pretty decent in my short game, run the green, and the way I did that is I got these little chipping baskets. You don't have you don't have to use baskets. You can use an old tire or bucket or whatever. And the 3 wedges that I had, I'd set them. I would set it probably 20, 30 yards apart.
Gotcha.
And obviously,
well, you've got a big yard.
Yeah. Well, and I think, with the higher loft, it's going to be higher. So I want to say, how does this feel? Hitting at 20 yards. How far do I need to go back? How far do I need to go back and hit it?
I have never in my life seen anybody hit a ball as high as Gene does. He uses like a -15 driver, and the ball is freaking in the stratosphere. And it's like, oh my God. Yeah. I remember telling Max, my son, early on, I'm like, yeah, when you play with Gene, you're going to be impressed with. And he came back going, oh my God, I've never seen anything like that. They're just out of here. And I'm like, yeah, it's crazy to watch. It's fun to watch. It really is.
Well, I don't want to backtrack, but we said something about, not changing your swing. I don't want to change my swing now. Sometimes that hurts me, and I won't get any rollout, unless it's just super dry. But
how high Gene hits his balls.
It's funny you say that because even this little tour that I play in, people are like, man, you hit that ball high. I mean, with that said, the disadvantage of that, if it's a windy day, it gets me in trouble.
Yeah, I bet so.
It depends on if it's coming in your face. If it's in your back, man, it'll sell it. But if it's in your face or sideways, that's definitely a big disadvantage.
Well, I think we've kind of hit on some good mistakes that beginners make, and I hope that maybe we've talked you guys into doing some things that that you didn't think about doing, and maybe not doing some things. Right. I think for fishing, I would say first and foremost, just have fun. Don't go out there and just target a species right off the bat and say, because you'll be frustrated, and that's not how you should start a sport or a recreational sport.
Well, I think if you get anything, whether it's a bluegill, I think it gets that adrenaline running, and you're like, oh man, this is fun. Let's go back.
Yep. And so that, I'd say that was the thing. And practice.
Yeah, practice.
That's a good thing. It's easy to practice casting. You can do it in your yard, very similar to the way you practice with wedges. I mean, set you a basket out there. And then just,
Mine started out with a couple old tires, and I think I said earlier, it's, 20, 30 yards, with my 50-degree, the 52 and 56.
57, 58, 62, 47.
Hut, hut.
Hut, hut.
But
I'm going to tell you this real quick while
Yeah.
you're talking about that. Our buddy Kelly got so mad at me one time because I took a Sharpie and I wrote the yardage on the back of my irons because I couldn't remember how far I was hitting them.
hey, you got to do what you got to do, man.
Do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Come on.
But yeah, that's one thing that I pride in is my wedge game. Set the baskets up and just get that feel of a 20-yard pitch shot. With a 56 or maybe the 52, whatever you play with. You don't have to have as many wedges as I do. That's what I like. Yeah,
I think it's cool.
but what I will say, the things to work on, for golf, is your grip.
Yeah.
The grip will kind of help you guide which way the club face will go.
Okay.
The stance, that kind of determines on which way, your body is going to come through.
Mm-hmm.
And the one that I like the biggest is alignment. If your alignment is not on, it's so there's so many variables in golf. But just practice, with the grip and your stance.
Well, you were talking about alignment, and that's just such an easy thing to check.
Mm-hmm.
You all use like survey sticks or something.
Yeah, pretty much.
You go to a Home Depot or Lowe's, and you can get these fiberglass. They're just little fiberglass rods.
Oh, was it $5 or $6?
Oh yeah, they're nothing. And you set
And
a
the
couple
same
of those
and the
out
same
there.
thing at the golf store. No, nothing against the golf store. I love going to the golf store, but you get the same kind of thing for, $30, $40
$30 or $40. But yeah, and there again, as a beginner, you will be out there and you'll think, I'm perfectly aligned, and then the ball is not going there, or you set up a video and you watch yourself and you're like, holy crap, I was aimed 45 degrees the wrong way.
Well, I did back when I started, even up to a few years ago. I didn't use alignment rods. I used my clubs.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can the best practice you can have with a driver is to lay it down as an alignment. Forget it. Learn how to hit your 7-iron and your wedges and your putter, and then learn how to do the driver. But
like I said, we hope that you get a little bit out of this.
Yeah, or a lot. We hope you get a lot out of it.
Get out there, man. Do it.
Savage. I don't know what that guy's name is.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But grip, stance, alignment. Just do it.
Have fun and use your resources, and you'll enjoy the sport much better.
Yeah, just enjoy it, have fun. Go with people you want to hang out with, and when you're together and with good friends, it does make it more enjoyable.
Well, I think in the next episode we or not the next one, but one of them in the future, we were going to talk about trips, golf trips with your buddies, and fishing trips with your buddies, and that is some of the best memories of in my life.
I will do my part, helping out on the golf trips, but unfortunately, I didn't get to.
You hadn't gone on a fishing trip.
I didn't get to go on the fishing trips, and maybe that's something that
Hey, we'll do one.
We'll go one.
We'll go one.
But yeah, did you hear that? You know what time it is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know what time it is.
I know what time it is.
Beer
review. We like beer.
Yeah.
Some beer we don't. But we need to make a list. I mean, a chart, and put like 1 through 4, like how you do 4 stars or 5 stars or whatever. We need to do the same thing, but with terms that I understand. Like when I use the term fuzzy and bitter.
Oh yeah.
I think we should have a little chart.
All right.
And so, you could do your thoughts on, and, we could do something like, bitter's an easy one. Yeah. Fizzy or fuzzy to me means it's, carbonation level, whether it's kind of flat or,
right.
More carbonated. We could do the fruity thing, whether it's fruity or wheaty, grainy or fruity.
Ooh, that reminds me. Guess what my next beer is going to be?
Biscuits and gravy. It can't be anything else.
Papaya. Either a wheat ale
Mm-hmm.
or just an ale.
I hate papayas. Absolutely
Okay.
despise them.
I'll call him Pawpaw then.
That's about as bad. God. Yeah.
Really?
I've never had. Same thing with melons. I can eat watermelon, but as far
Oh,
as
shoot. Thank God. I thought you were talking about the other melons.
your melons. But like honeydew and cantaloupe and bleh, papaya kind of falls into that same category
Okay.
with me.
Hmm.
Persimmons are that way, and pawpaws. Stephanie loves them. I just don't.
I don't. I like wheat beer. And we probably should be recording this on our thing, but
We are. It's just going to be up to you to figure out how to get it in
yeah,
there.
no. I like a wheat beer, but I don't like the Belgian.
Oh,
To me, Belgian beer is just, I don't know, it tastes like pond water.
oh.
Yeah.
Well, see, I think that we need to put our chart and have these things that we can list so that we can be very specific.
Yeah.
Like, we could have a pond water one. But yeah, I'll work on that. If you'll just text me some ideas of, I was thinking like spicy. Some of the
Yeah.
beers we have, you can actually either they're peppery or they're actually hot, that they've got something in there like that.
Right.
I don't know what else we could do. Like, some beers like to put like chocolate.
Yeah. See, that's where you come in the stouts.
Okay.
Probably not all stouts. I can't speak a lot about because I don't like stouts.
Okay.
But when I do think of those, I think of chocolate and coffee.
Oh, coffee. Yeah. There's a lot of coffee
Yeah.
beers. Okay. Well, yeah. Well, I can play around with a chart.
All right, cool. So,
No hype, no script, just what we find. Two guys, one beer, two states of mind.
we are.
We're back.
We're back. We
And I just yelled and probably maxed out the little thing. Sorry.
we have put in our jingle in again that Bart has.
I had nothing to do with that.
Yeah, you sent it to me, so
I sent it to him. That's all I did. I'm going to
it's
scoot closer
it's
to you.
pretty good. So
Hump your leg.
tonight, tonight's beer review.
Let's see if he gets this right.
Actually, I'm leaving that to you.
It's
The winner is a Pilsner.
yay.
Pilsner is kind of it's a crisp. It's a golden lager.
Okay.
It's a lager. It's really balanced, the sweetness and the malt. But yeah, why don't you tell people what are we drinking tonight?
All right. We are drinking a Warsteiner. And as you can tell, it is a German Pilsner.
It's a German. It has it's 4.8% alcohol.
And that word was spelled Warsteiner.
Yep.
Warsteiner.
Warsteiner.
Yeah, and we were talking earlier off camera and off audio. Well, actually, we did record it, but anyway, about doing a chart, and we're gonna actually put a chart that has some of these things that we taste.
Yeah.
And me being a layman, a beer layman, I'll probably have things on there that just make sense to me.
No, I think you do. I think you describe beer pretty spot on. Better. I make it and I drink it, but you describe the way beer, what you can taste. I don't know if your palates are,
Cool.
but I wished I could. I can tell when, I don't know if it's wheat or if it's a lemon or something whatever. But
Then we ought to at some point have like a blind taste test.
ooh,
Yeah, and see if we can guess what it is.
that would be all. That would be great, man.
Oh, we could like cover the can.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
We'll work on that.
So,
All
man,
right. So right
here
now,
we go. We're gonna go with our Pilsner, Unranked.
and unhinged.
I do like this one.
Do you? Well, I'll see. You know me.
I know it.
Is it bitter?
little bit.
A little bit. You know, and I think I can sometimes take bitter better than bitter better. We've got to find that. It's about, there's a poem, an old nursery rhyme about Betty's butter is bitter, or Betty's butter makes her batter bitter. And we're going to have to figure that out.
All right.
All right, we're back, and we've poured our beer, and we've got good clear glasses. And so we're going to.
It's really clear. And I think that's where the lager comes into play. And the only way I can describe a lager yeast and ale yeast.
So I thought this was a Pilsner. What's the difference?
Well, the Pilsner is the lager.
Oh.
So lager.
I'm so confused.
Yeah. the yeast eats from the bottom up. It starts making sugar.
That's what she said. Sorry.
Ale yeast top down.
Right. Top down. Okay.
Right. So yeah. Right. So cheers, man.
Just for the cheers.
Cheers, buddy.
Thank you, buddy. Whoa. Yeah, it makes me make beer face. But
it's
it's got a lot of hops, in my opinion.
I wish I can describe it, and I will put this link on here about a Pilsner. It does have a lot of hop forward, does it?
Yeah, I mean, and to me, the hop stays with you. It hits you early, and it stays on your tongue. And that's the thing that hops does to me. And it's not pleasant for me, but
right.
But if somebody was really into hops, and this is a super clear, I mean, you can tell it's got a beautiful, and when I say clear, I don't mean the color.
Yeah.
I mean just that, it's
the clarity
it's a beautiful,
of it.
Yeah, the clarity. We'll come up with a word for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, on our chart.
But for me, maybe because I know what Pilsners taste like. Mm-hmm. If I didn't know what we're drinking, I could tell this is a Pilsner just by the taste and.
But yeah, it's really clear. It's got a beautiful color. It poured pretty good without a head. At least mine did. Jane didn't. And like Gene said, you can really taste. I don't smell much. See what you think. Scratching sniff. I really don't. I don't smell a lot. Do you?
No.
I mean, like those other ones, well, you can get a little bit of the wheaty smell.
Yeah. It doesn't tell a lot on the can, but other than
about 5% alcohol, it's got water, barley, and hops.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is actually naturally brewed according to the German purity law. Wow,
it's interesting.
And it's brewed, and this is actually from Germany.
Yeah.
So it's from the Warsteiner Brewery.
The one thing I wish that these breweries would do is go back and put the IBUs on there. I love that I can see the IBUs.
What is an IBU?
That's the International Bitter Unit.
Oh, so that's the bittery thing.
Yeah, okay. That tells you how bitter it is.
Oh, that's cool.
Higher the number, more bitter it's going to be. Just guessing, which I'll take a drink.
Yeah.
I would say it's probably in the 30s, which I feel like it's on the low.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. See, it really and please don't get me wrong, guys. I mean, I think that we had just talked about where it was brewed, and you were talking about the IBUs. So let's start the IBUs. How about that? Okay. All right, we've talked about the smell. Hopefully, the smell was on there.
Yeah. So I think the IBUs, it just kind of it's
I don't know what IBUs are.
Well, it's a chart to tell you how bitter it is.
I would love that chart.
Yeah.
Because that means a lot to me.
Yeah. And I think for me, this just by knowing, I'd be guessing it's probably going to be somewhere in mid 30s.
I think the IBU chart should correspond with my face because I make beer face when it's really bitter.
Dude, that's good.
I can't say that. I don't know. It almost, and I don't know if it's the hops or if they've added ingredients or maybe it's the brewing, but I almost taste a spiciness on the top of my tongue, and I think it's beyond the bitter.
Is it, you talking about like a peppery or
Like a peppery almost. And I don't know if it's left over from my jalapeno chips or if it's just mixing, but it, like I said, I can't smell.
Maybe it doesn't. Like I said earlier, you're very good at describing beer, but I don't taste that peppery.
Really, like I can taste it I can almost get a tingle on the roof of my mouth and my tongue. So,
okay.
But yeah, and I'm sure if you were a Pilsner drinker, this may be super, super up your alley, and Gene loves it. So, I mean,
yeah,
what we're giving you a review.
Yeah.
We're not giving you this beer sucks.
Right.
This is how I taste it. This is how Gene tastes it. So, and a lot of times we're on the opposite ends of this.
Yeah.
So, this may be a good thing.
Yeah, well, we've been fortunate in the last couple of beer reviews. Like both of us were like, "Yeah, man, this is
Yeah,
it."
we've liked it,
But
except that one.
except that one.
That
But
one was
we
bad.
had I think we had a sour and had some mango and
Yep.
some stuff like that.
And,
But yeah,
and I think this is probably the clearest. And like I said, when I say that, I'm not talking about color. It's just very clear where some of the others weren't.
all right.
Actually, what's funny is when Gene brought this beer in, I recognized it because I had bought my brother-in-law. Hey, Dwayne. A couple of these for Christmas. I gave him like an assortment of beers, and this was one of them. So I'll have to ask him what he thinks about it.
Yeah.
I, however, am not very happy with it. I probably couldn't even finish the can, so I'm gonna pass the leftovers on to you.
Pass it over here to me. And well, man, it's been a great night.
Oh yeah, we've had fun.
I think that we covered the topic we come in here to talk about. We've done our beer review,
Little
bit of everything
little
about
bit of everything on golf and fishing. And and we've said this before, we're not experts, we're entertainers, and hopefully you're getting a little bit of entertainment and a little bit of information.
Yeah, I think it's just basically just getting the word out. If somebody is on the fence, hopefully our videos will be like,
Maybe.
what, man, those guys
make it look. If those guys can do it, so can we. I like that.
Yeah.
But we've had fun, and I enjoyed doing this, and we're going to do it again. And I think Gene mentioned before that we're going to have a remote, not live, but a recorded remote from the Gopher Hole. And although that, when you say that, you don't really know what that is, but it's an indoor golf simulator, bar, and meeting place.
Yeah, it's a very cool place. It used to be a little storage. They stored whatever I don't know what was in there, but they cleaned it out, and 2 years in the making, they finally come out with this, and it's super nice. And
next time we'll give you all the details. We may even show you a little quick flash of the outside, so show you how to get in.
I'll say, let me say this. I don't know if you want me to,
Of course,
but when this is out, you will be probably in surgery.
Yes.
And I just want to know, we're all thinking about you, and
I'm having my throat cut.
yeah, we want wishing the best, and
It'll be fun.
I think he'll so I think you'll be down for a few days, but
Probably so.
But I think we'll be back, and just know
I want to thank you, Gene, for all the work you do for this. I mean, I show up, I sit down, I say stupid stuff, and then Gene spends 4 times that much time again on editing and putting this stuff together.
I wouldn't do it with anybody else. That's why I think it's taken so long. Yeah. I think it's take us so long to get this podcast started because I had thought about this like 2 years ago, and
Wow.
it just couldn't get together, and I think I mentioned it to you one time, and you was like, "Okay,
Sure.
I'm in."
Yeah.
But
I'll do it.
I think we come from. I don't know if it's right. I don't know if we don't come from different backgrounds, but we've done the different stuff in our life.
Yeah.
That we bring a different perspective to this podcast. And I think with golfing and fishing and beer,
Golfing, fishing, and beer.
and that's when I say, hey man, we're going to do golf, beer, or golf, fishing, and beer. That's what we're doing.
And I think it's really neat because Gene started out as a golfer at a young age. I started out as a fisherman at a young age. I didn't golf until really later. And then both of us kind of came together. And at a point, then I decided, hey, I like golf. That's pretty cool. I want to try it. And then Gene decided, hey, fishing, I'm going to give it a shot. So we've both kind of come up in doing our own type of recreation that we love.
Yeah,
and
I think we
kind of melded together. And
I was gonna say I think we kind of collaborate with each other. We come together with both sports, and I think it's it's fantastic.
I love it. I hope that somebody out there gets a little bit out of it.
Yeah.
Has fun, and realizes that we're just having fun. We're telling stories. And I'm sure that we may say stuff that's completely wrong.
If you have a different opinion,
please tell us.
Please tell us.
Yeah,
Email us.
you can roast us too. I mean, I don't mind that.
Yeah.
Gene might mind that. But roast me.
Roasting.
Yeah, and give us ideas.
Yeah.
I mean, things that we've completely forgot.
We like I think Bart said. We are not experts. We know our sport. We know how to play. We know how to fish. But our way.
Yeah,
our way. This is our way, and we just want to kind of get the word, and hopefully you'll understand and learn from it. But if you know something that you listen to tonight, shoot us the email and say, hey, this is what I do. Give us, hey, how do you train?
Yeah, we'll love to bring it up the next time.
Yeah,
and we will.
And
we have we have kind of a broad. In a fishing term, we cast a really wide net.
Yeah.
We talk about crazy stuff, and we tell funny stories, and we talk about things that we've done, and hopefully y'all get something out of that.
Yeah, man. So with that,
I
will say thanks for listening to Unranked and Unhinged.
Yeah.
We're still learning.
Yeah, and we'll get crazy. Oh, and tell people. I mean, that if you enjoy it, tell a bunch of people. Because I think it would be so cool. And we're not looking to do anything spectacular, but it's really neat to know that maybe somebody gets a smile out of this, and somebody goes, yeah, those guys are nuts. Yeah.
Well, I think with our first, getting started, we were kind of introduction of us and our sport. But I think as we grow and, the stories will just keep coming. And, I think, next month, I have 4 golf tournaments.
Wow. And we'll talk more about that. And I think that's really cool.
I think that the cool thing about it, if you're up for it, we'll try to do, 2 a week during that time. Cool. One will be fishing. And then, maybe the other one will be, we can either do like before the tournament or after the tournament or.
Yeah. Hey, I may just follow you there.
Okay.
And, we'll do it there.
Dude, that would be awesome.
I think it would be really cool.
I think, shout out to my wife Topaz tonight.
Yay, Topaz.
And my mother. I got started with my dad, but my mom, she's been the rock. So
cool.
Great mom. So
and that's another thing that we have in common. Wonderful wives, wonderful parents.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, we're lucky. We are. We're really lucky.
Let me tell you this real quick. That I had to put my truck in the shop. On Monday, the thermostat went bad, and so the shop is in Abingdon, and obviously I work in Bristol, and so I took it up there on Monday, You know, they had it for a couple of days. They called yesterday. I said, hey, it's done, right?
Yeah.
And they told me how much it was. And so
And then you shocked and fell over and
yeah, I'm like,
shook on the ground.
yeah. So, but you know, talking about our parents, you know, so my parents live in Abingdon,
Yeah.
and so hey, you know, do you care to, you know, go down and pay for it, and, you know, grab the keys, and because, you know, they close after, you know, before I get off anyway.
Yeah.
So Dad went and got it. Mom, and Dad went and got it.
And you forgot you had
Took-
your weed
took
and
it-
your condoms and the
Yeah, no. So they took it to their house, and I gave my dad so much grief. I'm like, dude, I expected this thing to be clean.
oh no.
I said, I was like, I said, did you not drive it? He's like, yeah.
Well, you clean it.
I said, there's no gas in it. There's still no gas in it. And then, of course, I'm leaving. I'm like, ain't got no gas in
Ain't
it.
got no gas in it. You know, I've said that 1,000 times, but I've never seen that movie. I hate to say that,
Dude,
but
me either.
Yeah.
Me either. But no,
we'll have to watch it sometime.
But no, my parents are great. You know,
Yeah.
it's fun that we can joke about it. But
Yeah, and on the names of nicknames, my son, I love my son to death. He's an awesome, super guy, and he's turned out to be a spectacularly awesome young man.
yeah,
And so love you, man.
yeah.
But yeah, we've had a blast today.
Had a
We've said
blast.
some cool stuff. I don't know if we stayed on topic.
Well,
Who knows?
at the first part of it, I think we did, but I think we've kind of
We
veered off.
strayed.
But yeah, that's okay.
I
But
think I think the topic was supposed to be mistakes that are made when you first start out, and I really do think we listed a couple of.
I think so. You know, if it's just a couple, we're good.
Yeah.
But anyway, unranked, unhinged, still
Unhinged.
still learning.
Yeah. I don't know
but,
how to end this. Should we dance? Should we? I don't know. Show our bellies? No? Okay. I'm not going to drink the rest of this beer.
So,
I'm very sorry, but
But anyway, hold it up and
we are unranked and unhinged.
Unranked and unhinged. Thank you guys.
Thank you all.
It's been a lot of fun.
Still fun.
Go follow us. Yeah, that's still fun.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends. And awesome. Good night, man.
Good night. We'll see you later.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, man. I'm going to pretend to drink.
Crack a cold one and tee it high. Lines in the water and the sun in the sky. Missed the green, lost the lure.